Hello, welcome to Mumu Diaries. So pretty much Mumu Diaries is just like my own personal journal entries, either like in my journal or in my notes app. I thought, Gemini, certified yapper, I would just talk to y'all about them because I feel like my friends are sick of hearing them, even though my friends are definitely watching this video. So my very first thing that I want to talk about is why being in your 20s is so embarrassing, sexy, fun, horrible, tragic, sad. I cry I just feel like there has been so many weird and amazing and awful things that have happened to me, and I just feel like being in your 20s is the most embarrassing decade of your life because you're always trying. Like, I feel like my 20s consistently is me trying something new, me putting myself out there in a way that I haven't had to ever do before in my life. When you are in your 20s and you're working and going to school and you forget that you haven't had any human connection in 6 months, and then you realize, oh, nobody's going to push me into a group, I have to do it myself.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's hell in there. It's horror.
I remember being like 23 and I'm like, wow, I haven't seen any of my friends in like 6 months. I don't say this in like a negative way. I just feel like I'm constantly like learning and evolving and finding myself, which has honestly been really fun because I am discovering like new interests and like reading different books and just like learning so much about kind of like what makes me tick. And I think that's a really cool thing to experience. I absolutely do not take for granted, but I will say it has been so interesting. I feel like also just like, especially now, there's always something going on. And like, I feel the need to tap into my community and into myself more than ever. So I feel like from 21 to like 23, I was just like young and turnt having fun. Like, I was having fun. But like the 24 to 26 of it all, I feel myself becoming this like super authentic version of myself that's like really fun. And I feel like I wouldn't have had that unless I was literally tripping over my own shoe over and over again from like 21 to honestly from like 18 and on. I won't like because that's the thing. I'm not saying I'm like this evolved like super being that doesn't make any mistakes anymore, but I think it's just so beautiful to kind of see like that development of 21 to 26, even though right now so many things that are happening like around me, like some of my really close friends are like getting married and like having kids, and some of my other close friends are like moving out for the first time. So I feel like there's so many different ways of being in your 20s, which is honestly like cool as hell. I mean, obviously you could like fall in love again and again, like you could like reinvent yourself over and over and over, but I just feel like this is such a weird, awesome, formative time for me, and also like some of the most devastating times in my life. Like, I've had high highs and lows, and I know that that's just like being a human in life in general, but I think sometimes, at least speaking for myself, and this is a very privileged bubble, but I feel like in high school and in college, I followed what you're supposed to do at that age. Like, either that's getting the degree or joining the specific club or doing the specific internship. But I feel like the more that I get into my 20s and the more that I get into like my career and just like what makes me tick, it's so nice to kind of like honor that like baby piece of me. It's just nice to kind of see that come back and see that like manifest in my career. That's another thing about being in your 20s. It's like you are a million different people from one day to the next. At the same time, I feel like I've evolved so much, but at the same time, I feel like I haven't evolved at all. Like, I think that's the craziest thing about like always being with yourself, becoming the person that's supposed to know you the best. It's so interesting because I see certain changes, but then I feel like there has been no changes at all. Like, for instance, my love of like romance and like rom-com genre. I've been a rom-com girly my whole life. But now it's like I can like go to the store and like pick up the rom-com book, when before like I'd be like, hey mom, I know that we're in a recession, but like, can I have this Kesha album? It's just so fun to kind of like honor my younger self. I get so frustrated because I wish that I knew how to file my taxes better, or certain skills that I just feel like were not taught to me, and like I am teaching them to myself. I feel like my whole 20s has been me parenting myself and me giving myself the structure that I wish that I had when I was younger. And again, I'm just like grateful to even be in my 20s, you know what I mean? And like even have shit to say about being a 20 something, you know? Just love to yap. And I could keep going on about this for like hours and hours and hours, but I just hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and I want to hear about your experience being a 20 something or any advice that you have for the 20 somethings. I think I don't feel qualified to give advice. I feel like the only person I could give advice to is like the younger version of myself. And what I would say to her is to leave that crusty, dusty, nasty boy alone. And focus on your grades and read a couple books. Read a couple books, apply to a few more colleges, see what happens. There is no need to date. There is no need to date. But I hope you guys enjoyed my video, even if it's just all my besties watching. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm so excited to just yap about everything and all the things in my mumu. This one has dogs on it. How cute is that? And I think next week I'm going to talk about how The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang literally changed my life, because I love that book and I literally cannot stop talking about it. I cannot stop thinking about it. So why not talk to y'all about it? Or I will talk about whether this is a story time of me dating or a K-drama storyline, because you would be surprised how much those overlap. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah. Bye.